to you, Lord Christ.
Please be seated. I want all those that are young at heart, especially the children, to come up at this time. Come on up, kids. Any in the nursery? James? None in the nursery? There's got to be two. I know there's two. Are y'all joining us? Are your sisters here? Oh, yeah. Go get them. Go get your sisters. Go get them, boy. Go get them. Oh, go get them. They'd love to see you. Go get them. Yeah, come on, Scarlett. Yeah, that's where everybody ought to be when they come to church. Oh, your daddy's got them. Good. Come on, Jenna. Come on, Scarlett. Come on, Rory. Leah. Okay, good. We got lots of people here. Lots and lots of young at heart people. Lots of young at heart people. That's good. Because look. Hey, look. What is this? What is this? Money. Hey, when I was a kid, at my previous parish, there was a guy that used to come to church. He'd come early in the morning at the first service, and he didn't come every Sunday. He was institutionalized most of the Sundays. And he came about once a month, and he would he'd sit on the front row, and he'd take his money out of his pocket, and he'd wave it like this, right? Wave it just like this. Y'all like money? Yeah, okay. Money's just a symbol, you know that? It's a symbol. It's a symbol. And he was trying to give me a message. I never knew what it was. He'd come to the altar rail like this, he'd bend down like this, and then he'd pull his money out of his pocket, do this, until I came by give him, and he'd hold his money while he'd take his food. And he was trying to send me a message, wasn't he? I mean, he was trying to tell me something, but I never quite got it. And a lot of times we put some message on money. Hey, come here. Oh, come here, Scott. Here. Come here, Jacob. Come here. Come here, Gabriel. Come here, Gabriel. Yeah. No, that's yours. That's yours. Go sit down. Go sit down. Come on. Come on, Leah. That's Leah, right? Leah? Am I right? There you go, girl. Here you go, Gabriel. There, that's for you. Rory, come here. Come here. Did I get it right? This is Roy, right? Roy? Is that right? Oh, good. Finally I get it right. Come here. I don't know your name, but I know you. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, Jenna. This is for you. Come here, Scarlett. Here's one for you, too. Come here, Carter. Who we got over there? Roy, come here. Come here, Roy. This is for you. William, here. Okay. All right. Good. We got it. Okay. Hey, money just is a symbol, right? It's a symbol. I just gave you this money. I want you to look at it. There's a story Jesus tells today, and he's with a crowd, and a man comes up and wants Jesus to settle a problem over money. And Jesus said, beware of greed. He said, beware of greed. And he tells him, he said, hold on a second. Come here, Jacob. Come here. Here's another one for you right there. Here, come here, Scott. Come here. No, those are yours. That's yours. Those both are yours. That's yours. Come here. Come here. Leah, come here. Come here, Rory. There you go. I hope I have enough to go around. Here. Here, William, that's for you. All right, I got a few left, 4 left here, 4. Here, Carter. Scarlett, you want another one? You got, Benjamin, that's yours, buddy. That's for your sister there. No, that's yours. Go and sit down. All right, here's the story. Jesus says, he says, you need to be rich toward God, right? And what Jesus is talking about is staying focused on what's important. What's the most important thing to you? What? No, Jenna. What's the most important thing to you, Carter? In your whole life, what's the most important thing? Do you love somebody more than any other? Isn't it your parents, your family, your friends? Aren't those the important thing? That's what Jesus is telling. Keep the relationships the most important. Come on up here and I'll give you a stamp. I got a stamp of fishes. There's 3 fishes. And these fishes, listen, here. Take this, Scott. Put that on my desk over there. There's 3 fishes. They're all together because we're all together in the same pool. We're all together as children of God. Here. There you go, little girl. You want that one? Hold on. You have to wait a second, Dan. You can't have all of them. Okay, we'll do that one. You can have that one. Just keep that for yourself. You'll stamp someone later. Here you go, Benjamin. Oh, okay. You want 2? Okay. You want 2 too, Benjamin? Okay. All right, there you go, buddy. All right. You want 2 too, Scarlett? Okay. Here we go. Here we go, buddy. Little girl. Little girl, hey. You want one to take home with you? Take that home with you then. Okay, here we go. All right, that's good. Yeah, you're doing good. All right. Fishes. There are 3 fishes. 3 little fishes. You know, don't you think some of these people here are thinking, I wish I'd have been young at heart today. I wish I had been young at heart. Yeah, there you go. 3 fishes. All right, go on. It's okay now. You can go. William, let me give you a stamp, buddy. You want a stamp? Okay, there. Oh, there's your 2. Okay. All right, what do you want? Gabriel, you want a stamp, buddy? Here you go, little boy. Here you go.
Thank you.
You want 2? Here we go.
Thank you.
And don't rub it because it's red ink. It'll be all over you and everybody else. And somebody will be mad at me. Okay. Father, make us the masters of ourselves that we might become the servants of others. Take our minds and think with them. Take our lips and speak through them. And take our hearts and set them on fire. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. This is the time of year I'm preparing people for confirmation. Some of you have been through my confirmation classes. If you've been through my confirmation classes, raise your hand. Do you remember anything about them? You remember I started out by talking to you about Moses and the covenant, right? In the second lesson, I talked to you about the covenant relationship, right, with Abraham and Noah. You remember that? Remember that? And that we're a covenant community, right? We're a covenant community. Now that means something. It's a covenant instituted by God. God makes this covenant with us. It could not have been initiated by us. It's God initiating the covenant. And the covenant promises prosperity, health, an abundance of life. And the covenant is about God making a promise to us, right? And all we have to do is enter into the covenant and to honor it, make it important, right? And so what happens? Why does the world end up producing so much anger and violence and hate, right? Something goes wrong, right? The covenant is broken. Now, it wasn't broken on God's behalf. It was broken on man's behalf, right? The covenant is still in place. We're a covenant community. Now, things get in the way sometimes, right? And today I'm going to talk to you about something that Episcopalians don't want to hear about, right? Money, right? Money often gets into the way because it is symbolic of something to everyone, and some people hold it as a highest symbol where others give it away, right? Now, when I was young, I learned about money. I learned about money over and over and over again. Hey, Kate, good to see you. We've missed you. I learned about money because my father was all about money. His dad left him poor when he was 11, and he worked from then on out. He worked hard, and we had money in our house all the time because he dealt in cash, and he had stacks of money. You know, the bills have a little wrapper around them, and they'll say $10 or $5. Y'all seen this? He had stacks of them, 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s. And he had coins. He had one of those coin machines that you put the coins in, it sorts them, and you get in pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters. And they were always down there. And every Monday morning, he would take this money bag to the bank. And when I was little, I got to go with him. And the bankers all knew him. They knew exactly who he was. Hey, Mr. Gruman, how you doing? They'd take his money. They'd sort through it. It was always perfect, of course. And he loved playing with money. He would oftentimes be down there when my grandchildren, my children were there. And my mother would say, go down and visit your pawpaw. He's down there counting his money. That became a sort of a mantra, right? Go visit your grandpa and help him sort his money. Well, let me tell you, that was important to him, but he had to be coerced, pushed, prodded, nagged to go out and play ball with his son, which rarely happened. And as far as I know, as my memory will let me be aware of, my whole experience with my father, he never told me he loved me, right? So whatever money meant to him, it was more important than his own children. I tell you that today because this story fits in nicely with that story. The Jesus that we love and know, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, is going to Jerusalem to die. I preached this scripture one time at St. John's Episcopal Church in Montgomery. Have you all ever been there? Some of you have been there. It's a beautiful church. It's old. It's one of the richest churches in the diocese, and I got to preach there. It's big. It's cavernous. I preached without a microphone, and no one said we couldn't hear you, because I was using my preacher's voice that day, and I was making sure that everyone heard the message. And I began by saying, this is a sermon about the one holy, secure bank of Yahweh. Help me, Jesus. I say that every Sunday. I come here to the altar before y'all get here. Help me, Jesus. I'm here. Give me the message for these people. Anoint me. Bring the word of God through me to them so that they might be blessed. And then I pray for all of you. I pray every Sunday, and this will tell you how effective my prayers are. I say, I want these pews filled with people, right? Oh, so maybe it's not just about me. Maybe we all need to be praying, right? And I pray this sincerely. I want help from Jesus. And in this story today, here's Jesus, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings. The Word became flesh, the author of all life. And someone from the crowd comes to him and says, help me, Jesus, help me, help me. I want you to make my brother give me my share of the inheritance. Can you imagine at this moment that Jesus is rolling his eyes back in the back of his head, thinking, so little time, so much to learn. We have a problem, right? We know we have a problem, right? We look out on the world. We just had 2 political conventions, and they have framed the problems according to the way they understand it, and they say, this is what is the solution for that problem, right? And we get distracted. We get pushed this way, pulled this way. What do? Oh, woe is me. I tell you what, I have some gifts. I'm not aware of all of them. I'm aware of some of them, but one thing I am is a problem solver. I'm good at solving problems. When I went to the diocese and told them I wanted to go to seminary, they sent me off for some psychologicals. I was worried about that, and I know probably you wonder how I made it, some of you. But when I took the psychological test, the bishop told me I had scored higher on the IQ test than anybody had ever taken the test in his time. Like I'm a genius, right? And I just looked at him, started laughing. I said, Bishop, I'm just good at puzzles. I mean, I get up every morning, I do the crossword puzzle, Sudoku. I have mastered most of these games on the internet that you can play. And you wonder when I ever have time to work, right? But I'm good at puzzles. I'm good at problem solving. And the first thing you got to do if you want to solve a problem is you've got to realize what the problem is. And what'll happen oftentimes is we'll get this great idea, right? First of all, we get this idea there's a problem, right? And we frame the problem, and then we have the solution. And it's a bang, bang, bang. We beat, and nothing's happening, right? I mean, I preach pretty good sermons. We have pretty good music. We got great words of wisdom from the words of the book, the 66 books of the Bible, and the kids are taught that at confirmation class. We've got good people here, real good people, and yet the pews still aren't full, right? And you say, well, what's the problem, right? What's the problem with? Well, maybe there isn't any problem. But oftentimes we have a problem that we fixate on the solution, and it's bang, 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 right? And then as I thought about this week, bang, 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 that sounds like gunfire. And, in our world today, we have a lot of gunfire going on, right? People are dropping, people everywhere. It seems like the world's gone crazy, right? So what's the problem, right? We got to have a war, right? War is a really popular word in our economy of words in this country, right? Do you all know this? We have a war on poverty. Did you know that? There are people still hungry. There are people that go to bed hungry every night in this country. So we've declared war on poverty. I'm not sure we're succeeding here, winning the battle, but we've got a war on it, right? And then we've got a war on crime, right? War on crime, right? Y'all have heard this? Crime is still active in our world. We have crime all the time, and so we have a war on crime. And then we have a war on drugs, right? People are addicted to drugs every day. One more gets addicted, dies, whatever. We have a war on drugs. War is a prominent theme in our culture, in our communities, in our world, in our government. Is that good? Because war, that means somehow I'm right and somebody's got to be wrong. And so the battle begins. I read a book years ago called Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. Anybody read it? Anybody remember that book? It was a great book. It was real popular in the 60s. Robert Heinlein's protagonist in the story is a young man named Michael Smith. Michael Smith is born in Mars. He has astronauts for parents. He grows up on Mars. He learns the Martian way of Martian language. He comes back to Earth, and he has special powers that he's gained through this. He has telekinesis, for one. He can move things, bend spoons, that kind of stuff. And he comes to Earth, and people fall in love with Michael Smith, and they decide he's going to lead them out to the abyss. They lead us out of darkness into goodness and mercy and love. And he begins to teach them the Martian language. He feels like that's his key to their salvation. There is no word for war in the Martian language. Grok? That's a word that was in the book. I just thought I'd throw that in there. In the story we read today, there's a man, and he's in the crowd. He's an unnamed man. He is nameless forever, supposedly. He comes out of the crowd, and he wants Jesus to solve this problem, right? And then Jesus says, well, beware of greed. He doesn't even say, well, come on, let's go talk to your brother. Let's see if we can reason together. We'll find a solution here. Because for Jesus, this isn't a problem. At least not in the way that the young man frames it. And he goes to Jesus. Jesus tells him about this parable, about this man that makes a fortune in his crops, and he's going to build new barns. And the whole time, if you'll pay attention to this story, right, you're reading this story, who is the man talking to? He's talking to himself, right? Now, one of the things that I learned when I was on the streets is that when people exercise freedom, pure freedom, I'm free, which means basically I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it, they eventually interrupt other people's freedom. And war takes place, right? And if you do this enough, if you are more prone to behaving in a way that says I'm going to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it, what will happen is your friend base will shrink. It will shrink to where you're just talking to yourself. Another thing I learned when I was on the street was these people that carry grocery carts, and they're stacked up to here, right? And I saw lots of them, right? And my wondering, this is where my wondering took me, I thought, how do they know what's inside, right? I mean, how could they know what's inside? Do they take it out every night and inventory it? Maybe they have a list and say, this tablecloth that I stole from the restaurant is on aisle 3, row B, and they've got it in there. You think they do that? They don't know what's inside, right? They have no clue, and yet they have to have this stuff, right? And I thought, we do that. We do that. All of us, we all do that. There's something really important that you've got that you're not going to let go of. And you don't even know where it is. You just know that it's important to you. And we put important values on all sorts of stuff. And Jesus has given us a clue here in this story today. He says, you're not paying much attention here. This is about relationships. It's about a God that loves you so much that he makes promises that he's going to keep forever, even into eternity. And it's about a people, and in the stories I read, when Moses tells in the story of Deuteronomy, he says, if you will follow God's rules of these things that he teaches you, you will be blessed with an abundance. But if you don't follow them, you will be cursed and you'll be exiled. The story of exile and return is always in all of Scripture. And the idea is God wants to bring us home. Well, if you haven't been paying attention, I'm going to be finishing up my time among you as your priest. Sorry, Ethan. Sorry. I'm going to be finishing up at the 10th of September, Saturday, the 10th of September. My senior warden pointed that out to me earlier. And I'm going to be going, well, listen, I don't have anything to lose. I can preach about anything I want to now. I'm a lame duck. And also, I know I'm effective now because you know that I'm not doing this for my own gain. But I'm going to give you some secrets along the way. Before I leave here, I'm going to give you secrets on your success as a church, as a people of God, as part of the covenant community. And I know you've been listening, and I want you to listen to this. Every vestry we've ever had. Who's been on the vestry around here? Have you ever heard this before? Ernie hadn't, because he was on the vestry before I got here. Money is never a problem at St. Matthew's. You ever heard that? Any of you others? Money is never a problem at St. Matthew's. Have I ever said that? Ever said that? Now, money is not a problem. I'm going to tell you that. I know that's the truth. Money is not the problem. It wasn't the problem for my father. It's not the problem for our government. It's not the problem for this church. I want you to repeat after me. Money is never a problem at St. Matthew's. 1, 2, 3.
Never a problem at St. Matthew's.
Good. Remember that. In the days ahead, money is not the problem. Faith is the problem. Faith in God is the only thing that's going to get you through to the promised land. Faith in money won't get it. Faith in your powers won't get it. Faith in your great intelligence, and remember this, I had the highest intelligence rating that any person had ever gone through the diocese was, and it hasn't gotten me anywhere. Trust in God. I had the privilege once of driving from Montgomery to Birmingham for the ordination of my friend Rich Webster. Rich, I thought that was good for the sermon today. He was rich, right? And Rich was being driven up there by these two priests, Robert Wisniewski and myself. And Robert's the rector down there at St. John's, where I preached this sermon on this holy, secure bank of Yahweh. And I said to Robert, Rich, this is a historic occasion for Rich. He's going to be a rector someday. He's now the rector of St. Luke's in Birmingham, the richest church in the diocese. And he needs to learn from the wisdom of us. What would you say the most important thing that he could learn from us today? And Robert Wisniewski thought for a second. He said, shine your shoes. Well, obviously, I have not learned that lesson, right? I know some of you military people think, will he ever shine his shoes? I'm going to shine the last time I'm here with you. Okay. Now, money is not the problem. Remember that? And I look over at Robert and I'm like, Robert, this is our time. We can teach this young man. We can get rich to understand that being rich is not the deal anymore. He's going to be with Jesus now, right? I say, no, this is the one thing you need to teach them. Teach your people how to give and you'll be successful. Because giving is the key to the kingdom. Giving. I'm telling you this right now. I'm leaving here. This is not for my benefit. But if you don't give, you will shrink. You will shrink to the point where your existence will just be a formality. Teach them how to give. Acting in a self-serving way, thinking that we are right and somebody else is wrong, and making everything about money will get us nowhere. Money is never the problem. Give, and it will release you inside of you gifts you never imagined. Give. Now, I'll tell you this word, G-I-V-E. Well, the G is leaving, right? The G is leaving. You're saying, well, what's going to happen when Father Steve is gone? The G is leaving. Well, you're going to replace it with L, right? Because you want to live, right? Replace it with live. And you know how you get there? With love, with an L. Love. Love one another. Give until it hurts. Love always. And make your home a home of hospitality and peace. And this is home among these people. The relationships is what makes a home. If you do that, these pews will be full the next time I come into your midst on your 50th anniversary. Right? If I make it that far. You know, I'll be the one in the wheelchair drooling, you know. But give. Open up your heart. Let this Spirit of God move through you. Become a channel of grace to all. And let me tell you what it does to you. If you do that, when you get to be my age, you'll still be able to get up here and preach with power and authority and knowing that God is with me. And I don't have to worry. I don't have to be afraid of anything. Because when God's with you, no one's against you. And that's good news. Those with ears to hear, let them hear.